a little stool, which hopefully I won't need because hopefully the grass or the pitch is dry, so I'll just sit on my arse. But the away fans are all queuing up there. It's the away fans. So I've got my camera gear all set up. That should do me. Okay guys, so yes, the other weekend I was at Chatham. I shot the Southend United versus Chatham Town FA Trophy game. Southend United reached out to me because they saw some of my content and yeah, they liked it and they wanted me to film. The main reason I'm doing this video now is because of the way this reel has popped off on my Instagram and TikTok. It does, even if I do say so myself, it does look absolutely beautiful. I've edited this mainly for portrait, short form, social media purposes, because it looks fantastic that way. And loads of people are on vertical, aren't they, nowadays? With TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, it's vertical. So yeah, so I'll quickly show you how I shot it, what I used to shoot, and how I sort of edited it, and yeah. So first and foremost, I was at Chatham. I got set up, filmed the players walking out onto the pitch. Now, what you'll notice is I'm sitting down on the pitch here, and I've got the camera to my head, to my eyes, through the EVF, the electronic viewfinder, and I was filming that way. So some people do think that I'm sitting down there taking photos, when actually I'm not. That is the way I film a lot of the action, or most of the action. When I'm filming a football match, I will be sitting down or on a stool with it to my eye. I find that it's much better that way. Some people think that I set up like this. So you might think that when I'm out and about filming, I've got this full rig. External monitor, microphone. Yeah, you think I'm filming like that? I'm not. You know, at the start, I used to. But now I just eyeball it. Especially when I'm following the football action on the pitch. I find it much easier with that to my head. I've got like a few points of contact to keep the camera steady and twist my body around and follow the action. Much better using the electronic viewfinder than trying to follow it through here. Much better, much more stable for me. And that's how I roll. And that's why some people are thinking I'm just sitting there taking photos when actually I'm not. I'm filming. So yeah, although this might look the part with some setups, I don't use that all the time. Obviously, this does come in useful with other aspects of videography, but for me, for shooting a game, eyeballing straight through the EVF. Yeah, so that setup there is mainly for stuff that, I don't know, it might be like for interviews and stuff, or somewhere where there's not a lot of movement in that, so it's easy to track. But I just find it much easier to track with the camera there and just twisting my body. Yeah, I just find it much better. I just find it much better that way, and much more stable. Yeah, and then after the players walked out, I walked around the edge of the pitch. I normally sit around the sort of the halfway line. Obviously, depending on what ground or pitch you're sitting at, you might not always be able to sit where I sit at Chatham. Where I sit at Chatham is perfect. So if I'm shooting for a team, I will maybe go slightly to the left or the right of the halfway line, depending on the attacking end. So if Southend are attacking that way, I'll be to the right of the halfway line so I can see more of their attacking stuff. But then if I pan to the left, I can still see more of their defending as well, but more so their attacking end. And I'll just set up there for the whole match and yeah, just record away. So I've captured all my content, and I've captured that fantastic penalty save. That Southend United did, and he made a save after that, directly after that, on a corner as well. But this piece of footage here was my favorite. Just the way he leaps into the air, brings down that ball, added with the 4K, my own little LUT that I use, that I put on a lot of my stuff nowadays. It's a LUT that I made ages ago. But this particular content here was shot at 4K, 120 frames per second, and it wasn't S-Log, which I know I probably should shoot a bit more S-Log every now and again, but yeah, I do S-Log rarely. But yeah, this is 10-bit, 422, 4K, 120 frames per second. So yeah, this is a bit of footage here. Hit play here. The ball gets cleared by Chatham. And here it is. Boom, there it is. And because I shot at 4K 120 frames per second, my timeline is at 24 frames per second. So that means I can slow my footage down to 20%. So 120, 20% is 24. So if I go 20%, that brings the 120 frames per second down to 24 frames per second. I was crap at maths, but that's the sort of laws. And here we go. It's coming, here we go. Look at that, just the way he leaps. I don't know, it's like an art, isn't it? I mean, photography, videography, creativity, art. The way he just leaps up like that off the ground, boom, and that ball just absolutely, it's just dead. I think it's beautiful. And then I have my little adjustment layer here, which has got my LUT in it. So there it is. That's sort of like a green tint. Sometimes it's a little bit overpowering, so I'll just bring down the opacity sometimes, depending on the clip. Just has a little bit more pop to the clip, very subtly. So I've slowed it down, I've got my adjustment layer on there, my LUT, and the next thing to do really is change the sequence settings. I do it 1080, oops, 1080 by 1920. I hit OK, and then this is where you get the very, very common portrait look. Now if we press play, we might not have to do much framing at all, because the way I film, I try and keep all the action in the center anyway, so it's easy for me. Look at that, pretty much done. One thing I have noticed, even on the original clip, is the horizons. I didn't straighten up the horizons. Horizons. Which, I don't know, sometimes I just forget. So I've hit -2 rotation. That might be a bit too much. -1. Okay, so that looks a little bit straighter. The horizon is straighter. And then, yeah, basically I haven't got to do much to this. So he's a little bit out of focus there. So click into when he's in focus, shorten the clip there, put my LUT adjustment layer over the full clip, press play. You can see it, boom. Absolute dead. This is an easy one. Sorry guys, but this is a really easy one. I don't need to do any tracking at all. And I zoom in. And that's it, and then I think he just plays a pass to his teammate. I think it goes out of play or something. See that? Yeah. And obviously I'm not in focus there either, so that's why that clip, there's no point even using that clip. That's one of the things with sports videography. Sports videography is that you only see the good bits that I capture, but there are shit bits. And not everything is in focus all the time. And some of the times it's just tough shit and you just have to get on with it. But I think the more you practice, the more you use it, the less amount of times you'll be out of focus. So yeah, that is how I edited that fantastic clip. And then you can add audio if you want this way, but I exported it without no audio. Let me just set my markers in to out. Oh, in to out there. So only this portion here, when you go to export, will be exported. Yeah, just put test, whatever. Yeah, my desktop is called Poo. I don't know why I named it that. That's just me. 1080p, which a lot of my stuff probably you don't realise. I shoot in 4K, but I export in 1080p. And people still comment and saying how crisp and how amazing my footage is. Oh, what camera do you use? What is your export settings? But still, it's at 1080p as long as you get the some of the settings right, and yeah, you can make it look really, really good. I mean, sometimes you can even set this if you want to 2160 3840. You can still set it to 4K if you want to, and it'll still look crisp. But I just normally just do it 1080 by 1920, 24 frames per second. You keep it like that. Render at maximum depth. Render at maximum depth. Use maximum render quality. Yes. This is what I've started changing recently. I changed it from 6 to 6.2. But I don't know if I noticed some problems with Instagram processing it, whether it's too high or something. So I'm going to go back to high, level 6. There's still stuff I'm still learning, still trying to experiment. And constant bitrate. I whack the constant bitrate up because I don't want variable bitrate. I don't want, because variable bitrate, which I think I understand, the fact is that they'll use like more data in certain parts of the video and less data in certain parts of the video. So if there's might be like a black screen or something, they'll use less data, but then that's when you see all that horrible sort of banding and stuff. So I like to just use a constant bit rate throughout and absolutely smash it. I think 200, to be fair, is probably a little bit high. And then what you'll see is the estimated file size go down as you drag the CBR down. Look, see that? I swear I read somewhere online that 100 megabits per second for sort of 4K content or whatever. So I sort of, yeah, just whatever, do that's probably fine. And then I hit export, and then upload to Instagram, add your audio, and then you're done. So that's, yeah, a nice easy clip. And I thought I'd demonstrate that one because that's absolutely gone crazy on my Instagram. The last one that went crazy was over a year ago. It got like 1.5 million. At the moment, this has got 280,000 views and 10,000 likes. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Any questions you have about this, pop them in the comments and I'll answer them as best as I can. See you later.
Can I call you Rose?